When I was little, I dreamed of being a mom. I loved nothing more than playing mommy to my dolls, and when I played house with other kids, guess who was always the mom? I babysat starting as early as I could through grade school into college. Being a mother was a calling I felt in my heart. On a magic night, after being married 1 year, my husband looked at me and said, "Let's start now." But a year later, we still hadn't conceived. My friends were effortlessly having babies, and we were still trying. I congratulated my friends, of course, but always while brimming with tears. We wanted a baby too. I fell into a deep depression, aching for a child to call my own. As we started fertility treatments, I began seeing a psychiatrist for my depression. With medication and therapy, she helped me cope with our infertility. When I joyously became pregnant through in vitro, I knew it would be impossible to be any happier. My depression disappeared as I was finally going to have our baby. Our son arrived during a terrifying labor and delivery and was immediately treated by a NICU team. When the nurses finally brought him to me, I was shaking badly. I could hardly believe it was me saying no to holding him. I didn't trust my ability to hold him. I didn't want to hurt him. She gently laid him on my chest anyway. I loved our son. I felt that. I kept waiting to feel more, a deep attachment, that bond. But instead, I felt exhaustion, pain, and shame. This was not part of my dream of motherhood. Once home, I felt frail and incapable, yet I had to care for myself along with a newborn. I was trying so hard to be a good mom, but I cried constantly and had debilitating panic attacks. One day, I somehow managed to call my psychiatrist. She immediately recognized that I was in the grips of postpartum depression and anxiety and had me see her right away. Over the next several months, I worked hard at my treatment plan, but my symptoms grew worse. I was meant to be a stay-at-home mom, but I felt like I was failing at that job. I was intensely afraid of being alone with my son. What if I don't know when to feed him, or he starts crying and won't stop? What if I have a panic attack while caring for him? What if he grows up seeing his mom cry? We hired a part-time nanny, which gave me time to work on my health, but also came with a boatload of guilt. I thought, who has the privilege of being a stay-at-home mom and hires a nanny? The shame of being weak, sick, and pathetic was overwhelming. This was not the kind of mother I wanted to be, and the reality of my motherhood was hell. Though I had a healthy and happy baby, my life had fallen apart. I couldn't hold space in my mind for the concept that it was possible to be a good mother while finding parenthood difficult. To me, they were opposing concepts. If I found parenting difficult, then I was a bad mother. This made me feel even more hopeless and worthless. I thought about ways to kill myself. I would no longer be a burden to my family. A nanny and a housekeeper would be better than me. My heart was breaking for my son and husband who were robbed by my depression of the mother and wife they deserved. 6 months into my treatment, nothing was working. My psychiatrist suggested that we try ECT, electroconvulsive therapy, a treatment in which seizures are electrically induced while under anesthesia. She explained that it came with adverse side effects, but was known to be effective for treatment-resistant depression. Though the thought of electrical current scared me, the thought of never getting better scared me more. The suicidal part of me hoped that I wouldn't wake up from the anesthesia. After 10 ECT treatments, along with the addition of another new medicine, I slowly started to feel something new, a bond with my son. By his first birthday in March, I was having days with laughter and smiles. I started to experience the joys of motherhood. By summer, good days came more often. I wanted to live again. While I don't consider myself fully recovered, I am learning to use the tools needed to battle postpartum depression and anxiety. I know now that it was my confidence that was destroyed, not my competence. Though I couldn't see it, I was always a good mother. The difference is that I understand my son doesn't need the perfect mother, he just needs me. I'll make mistakes along the way like everyone else does. I'm also learning to let go of my shame of not being able to do it all. I wouldn't be here today if I hadn't reached out for help and had the support of my selfless husband and compassionate mother. Today, I can't believe that I'm standing here, alive, here to be a mother to my son, sharing my story of finding light in my darkest time, so that any mom who feels as frightened as I was never feels alone.